welcome to the stage. This piece is called Waiting. Please welcome to the stage, Julie Giesecke.
When I was little, I had this idea about grown-ups. You know, like 30. Old people. They didn't look like they were having a good time. Like no matter what they did, there was all this stuff that they had to do. And one thing in particular was this thing called a job. Nobody seemed to want to go to it. I mean, they got to drive cars. Now that was pretty cool. But I wasn't convinced that the trade-off for all of the other stuff. I mean, I just wanted to be like my dog Teddy. Look at him, laying in a pool of sunlight, moving every hour or so. Maybe get up and eat. Maybe play, but maybe not. No responsibilities, everything is taken care of for him. That looks good. But I'm 48. Well past the age of being a grown-up. Now I know some of you think, it's so young. I'm a grown-up and I have a job, and this is what my job looks like. Hi, I'm Julie, the graphic recorder. Yeah, big piece of paper. Great to finally meet you. Yeah, so I just need to know where to set up. Ideally, it would be great, you know, if I could be, you know, to the right or left of the screen, so everyone can see what's. You know, I don't think it'll be a distraction. Actually, I mean, you know, I will be capturing what they're saying, so it's important that they see what's happening. You know, I think at the back of the room actually will be a distraction. Maybe be distracted, turning and looking. So if that won't work, you know, maybe this wall right here, because they can still kind of see it. Is that okay? Will that work? We just got to move this stuff here. And great. So I'll just set up my paper. And I know you didn't get a chance to actually show me the agenda. Great. Yeah. I'll take a copy of that now. Okay. And you know, it's important that you let people know what my role is here. So again, it's not distracting, and I'm happy to do that myself. I can introduce myself, or you can introduce me. You know, I'd probably say something like, my role is I'm a graphic recorder, and I'm here to capture what's happening during the day in words and pictures as a record in service to the group process. Happy to, you'll introduce me. Okay, great. And we're gonna start, at 9, perfect, excellent. It doesn't say here, did you decide on the official title of the meeting? Okay, TCM offsite, great. TCM management offsite, okay. The TCM biannual management offsite? Okay, great, TCM biannual management offsite, okay, perfect. TCM annual winter management offsite. Okay, that's great. No, there's plenty of room. I got 8 feet here. That'll fit, perfect. Yeah, whenever you're ready, I'm all set up. Great. Uh, 15-minute break? Okay, yeah, great. Oh my God, this is amazing. What do you call this? I mean, like, is this your hobby? Oh, this is your job? You're working with, oh, they didn't say anything. Well, What is it what? You're a graphic designer? Oh, wow. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. This is so amazing. Like, you have some kind of weird brain function that lets you do that. I mean, did you know what we were going to say before we came in? How long did it take for you to do that? Yeah, I guess I didn't notice it was blank when you walked in. Wow. You are so creative. I mean, wow, really creative. Yeah, you know, my son, he went to art school. He's making t-shirts for some band or whatever, but this would be perfect for him. I could totally see him doing this. Would you mind talking to him if I gave him your number? You could just kind of let him know, because I could see him. He is an amazing artist. He would be so good at this. Yeah. You know, I think I sat next to somebody like you in school. You're a doodler, aren't you? You know, the rest of us were taking our boring notes. And this guy sat next to me drawing all these pictures and stuff. That was you in school, wasn't it? You're a doodler. I know. Are you an artist? That question, that one right there, really pisses me off. I mean, I used to have long-winded answers about how what I was doing was actually a facilitative process of taking in all the information and holding it and reflecting it back, creating a non-linear visual representation of your experience for you in the moment and then later. But your eyes would just kind of glaze over. You didn't really care. You just wanted me to say yes. You didn't care about my limiting beliefs about being an artist, or that kind of artist. No, you just wanted me to say yes. Well, you know, do you want to know what the real answer is? I'll tell you what the real answer is. No. No, I'm not a fucking artist, okay? No, I don't love to draw. No, I haven't loved to draw ever since I was a kid. And no, this isn't my hobby. I didn't just come in here and decide to do this. Is my real job. I get paid to do this. People pay me to show up and do this. Not because I want to. It's so odd to you. You just can't imagine how somebody would have a job like that. How did you find that? Did you make it up? How does somebody get a job like that? How can my son get a job like that? You want to know? I'll tell you. I'll tell you how to get a job just like that. I'll tell you how I did it, and then you can follow along in my footsteps. Okay? Now pay close attention. Step number 1, you wait tables for 25 years. I waited tables for 25 years. Now, you know, I didn't really seek that out. Summer, junior year in college, the phone rang at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was Eliza. And she had 2 jobs. She got hired for 2 jobs, one at the Upstart Crow and the other at the Gap. And she really wanted to work at the Gap. So she said, why don't you go in at 10 o'clock instead of me? Okay. I didn't really have another plan, so I went, and it turns out I loved it. It was great. I got to work with all of these smart, sharp, funny women who managed this crazy chaos that happened every weekend called brunch. I'd never heard of it before, but it was a madhouse, and they managed it beautifully. And I wanted them to like me, so I did a good job. Clearing plates, refilling water, marrying ketchup bottles. I did all of it. And they liked me, and they told me I did a good job. So they said, you know, after 6 months, Julie, you should ask for a raise. A raise? well, okay. I mean, they knew best, so I did. I asked for a raise. Well, turns out, I don't really give bussers raises. And if I wanted to make more money, I'd have to wait tables. Wait tables? You mean what they do? That's not me. I can't do that. They were going to train me. They were convinced that I could do it. I wasn't convinced, but they were convinced, and I wanted them to like me. I didn't want them to think I was afraid and dumb. So I did it. It only took about 3 weeks. And then it only took about 10 years for me not to be afraid of people. You don't know what it's like to get between someone and their hunger. It's dangerous. So really, only about 10 years until I wasn't afraid of people, at least in my section. So do you see the connection? Graphic reporting, waiting tables. Do you see it? You don't see it? How the dotted line between these two things? It's not clear? Okay. Let me explain it a little more. So I'm standing here in this room next to this huge piece of paper with this rolling bag of pens, all ready, and then you all come streaming into this usually windowless room to have your discussion, your strategy session, your visioning, your team building, your conversation, your debate. You hole up in here for the next 8 hours with your streams of caffeine and your piles of gluten and sugar, all ready to dive into the task that you have been asked to do, been paid to do, or that you might actually care about. Well, you start, and then I start. You start talking about things like governance, data forecasting, calculating the true-ups, nice-to-haves, blue sky visions, sunsetting technologies, black box theories, boiling the ocean, mitigating risk, constraints on resources, burning platforms, peak incremental demands. Talk, talk, talk. The whole time, what am I doing over here? I'm listening to all of it. I can't listen to some of it. I listen to all of it. It all comes in here, and then it kind of works its way down here, and then comes out the end of this pen and onto this paper to make a dotted outline of the pile of shit that you've been talking about. The last million hours. And there it is. Not all of it, but most of it, right there. And then you marvel at it. You think it's amazing. You tell me that you think I'm amazing, but it doesn't have anything to do with me. You know why you marvel at it? Because it's you reflected back. It's your experience reflected back on you. That's what's amazing about it. It doesn't have anything to do with me. When you look at it, you see, you get this feeling, you feel seen, heard, maybe even understood. Yeah, you. That came up during the break with your coffee on your third brownie. I noticed. I have to pay attention to everything. You come up and you look at it, and then you look at me. And then you look back at it. And you look at me. And you look back at it again. And then you say, have you worked with biotech companies before? Yeah, I've worked with a couple biotech companies. You know, I thought so. You really understand our industry, don't you? No. I don't understand a thing about you. I just listened and I wrote something down. That right there, that's what a good waiter does. On a Saturday night, 7 o'clock, rising up to crescendo or crisis. One or the other is going to happen. There is a million things going on. People leaving drinks, orders being placed, food being run around like this. And in the midst of all of that, I am gentle and calmly attentive, noticing that you feel a little uncertain about the wine list. Calmly reassuring that 2 appetizers won't be too much. You'll have room for dessert, and you don't want to miss that pot de creme. Noticing that we don't want to clear the plates right now, because whatever you're saying to your date looks like it's going to make her cry. Knowing to send the manager over to ask you, how is everything this evening? Because you want to feel like you matter for spending $200 on your dinner, like everyone else here. And I smile, even though I know the chef is going to threaten me with a paring knife for asking to put that demi-glaze on the side. Amidst all that chaos, paying attention to everything, but not necessarily having to do all of it at once, and all the while hoping that you leave feeling seen, heard, maybe even understood. Now, I know most people would think, oh, you want to do this graphic recording job? I would recommend that you get a master's degree in organization development, that you take as much training as possible, like graphic recording, and learn all about facilitation, that you even take some misguided drawing classes and develop a meditation practice. You might think that that would be my recommendation to this type of work, but no, it's this. Do this for 25 years, and that will set you up for that. Really, I mean, the most important thing in either of these scenarios is that I look calm, that I look like it's not all about to fall apart at any moment, that I look like I actually know what's going on. And at best, that I look like I'm enjoying my job. Grown-up stuff. Oh, yeah. 45 minutes for lunch? Okay, great. So, I have to wait for about 125 people to go through that buffet line before I slip in on the end and hope that there's still some protein left for me. I'm hungry and tired. Not necessarily from standing up for the last 4 hours. I mean, I did that for longer waiting tables, but it's having to pay attention to all of this stuff that really doesn't mean anything to me. I just want to sit with my food and be quiet. But it's a buffet, and we're eating in the same room that we've been working in all morning. So I get my plate, and I find a table to sit down. My name's Julie. No, I don't work for TCM, no. Well, I'm the graphic recorder, Inky Hands. Wait a minute. There. That's me. The one, yes. It's called graphic recording, yeah. No, I know they didn't introduce me. No, I don't. I don't work for TCM. It's my job. I've actually never worked with a facilitator before either, but this is what I do. It's a real job. Yes, yes it is. It's all I do. Yes. I do make a living at it. Yes, I do. Well, you know, I was introduced to it by a teacher who used it as a teaching tool, and one thing led to another. You know, I do get that question a lot. I'm not really sure how it happens. I do know that there's two things that are happening for sure. One is I am listening to everything, and two, I'm not paying very much attention to any of it. When I was 6, my grandmother gave me this book, a Dr. Seuss book. She gave me a Dr. Seuss book every Christmas, but this one was the best ever. My book about me. It was filled with questions where you filled in the blank. Questions about me. I loved it. There are 56 steps from my house to the store. I own 5 shoelaces. My favorite food is spaghetti. I filled all of those answers in pencil. And the next year, I erased all of them because it was so much fun I wanted to do it again. Every single answer I erased, except for one. There was one question that didn't change. And you know, I think Dr. Seuss was the first person to ever ask me this question. When I grow up, I want to be a fill in the blank. It was a double-page spread. There were columns of options. And I can't tell you whether or not I knew the answer and found it, or if I read the columns and found the answer, but it was clear to me, when I grow up, I want to be a writer. Now, I went on to wait tables for 25 years. I mean, I wasn't that far off. It was just one letter off, right? Close. I wrote a lot of stuff down. When I was 8, for Christmas, I asked for a squeegee, a retractable key holder, one of those coin changers that If I had to fill that out again at 8, I probably would have said, when I grow up, I want to be a gas station attendant. A New York steak, well, it has a lot of marbling of fat through it, and that's really what gives it its flavor. People enjoy that. But if that doesn't work for you, then I would recommend the petite filet. Very tender, melts in your mouth, you're going to love it. Excellent. How would you like that done? Medium well. Medium well, that's good. And, I mean, you seem to know what you're doing. Can you recommend a glass of red for me with that? Perfect. Yeah. So, hey, can I ask you a question? What else do you do? Well, I mean, I dabble around in some things. No, I just want to make this perfectly clear before we go any further this evening. This is not a waiter salvation story, okay? I mean, particularly in this city, restaurant town, there are tons of professionals who have passion and pride in their work, in that important industry. I just wasn't one of them. I mean, I was just stuck. It wouldn't have mattered what I did, whether I was a doctor or a lawyer, a baker, a candlestick maker. I was just stuck. I mean, I tried a lot of things, sought, searched, tried to fill in that blank. Voiceover actor. Okay, yeah. Yes, I got the copy, thanks. Let me just warm up a little bit. Woo! Okay, yeah. All right, yes, Pumpkin spice latte, it's what you want. Let me just Just gotta warm up a little, sorry, yeah. Yeah, doing it bigger, bigger? Okay, yeah, I can do bigger, yes, bigger, whoa, bigger, bigger, bigger. All right, yes. Pumpkin spice latte, that's what you want. Detective. Now, my friend David had always told me that I was suspicious, but I like to think of it as being curious, inquisitive. Somewhere in the early 90s, I was flipping through the Learning Annex. How to grow lilacs, how to talk to strangers, how to be a private eye. That's it. So I went down there Saturday at 10 a.m. Sam Brown, he wrote the book, How to Be a Private Eye. He's going to teach us. So I listened attentively. I paid attention to every little thing he said. And this one thing really stuck out. You know, private eyes, they spend a lot of time waiting for something to happen, usually staked out across the street from a building, hoping to see somebody going into or coming out of it so they can document it. Well, you can't run down the street to get something to eat or to go to the bathroom, so it's really useful if you can pee in a bottle. Archaeologist. Hey, I think there's something here. Huh? A piece of a plate. Social worker. Suicide prevention hotline. Hey, Walter. Yeah. Wednesday at noon, you got me. That's right. And yes, actually, I was here last Friday. Anyways, what's going on, Walter? Is everything okay today? Yes, Wednesday is my usual day. You're right, yes. This call isn't about me, Walter. You know the rules. Tell me what's going on. What's that? What's that noise? Walter, are you masturbating? Because if you're masturbating, I'm going to have to hang up. Walter! Graphic designer. I mean, this was perfect for me. Word and image together. Finally. I mean, it had occurred to me earlier in life, but at 40, it made perfect sense. And this class was amazing. This teacher was brilliant. I'd never been in a class like this before. I mean, I was used to sitting and taking in a lot of information and regurgitating it at appropriate moments to show that I'd understood. Not in this class. Things were totally different. So it turns out that in order to be a graphic designer, you really have to have your finger on the pulse of popular culture, and I didn't want to put my finger there. This class, this teacher, I mean, this was fascinating. We did all kinds of crazy stuff. You want me to make a visual map of the reading? Using colors and pictures? Okay, sure, that's kind of fun. I'll go with it. I have to turn them in. Really, I mean, I've already outlined the reading. I mean, I know how to outline. I learned that in elementary school. It works for me. I went through college. Like A, main topic, indent, 1, sub-idea, indent, lowercase a. Like, I know how to do that. You want me to do it in this visual way? I won't pass the class unless I do it that way? That right there, that was the beginning of something. I mean, suddenly, or maybe not so suddenly, I mean, does 30 years of wondering and wandering result in a suddenly? I don't know. That moment right there was a beam of light where I could actually see down the tunnel. This was my path. I had a path. It was a clear yes. A clear yes is very different than any other answer. Like, maybe, I don't think I could do this for the rest of my life. This is really interesting and fun. I just don't think I have the talent for it. I don't like this. No, this was a clear yes. Not only could I see the path, but I had a plan. My plan was to get a master's degree in organization development and then return to the restaurant industry in a new body and soul as a consultant. So the plan didn't really work out. I mean, I did get the master's degree, but I never got a chance to go back to the restaurant industry because this graphic recording thing just kind of took off on its own. Like, the path unfolded right before my fucking eyes. I didn't really have to do anything. I literally stopped taking an order one night, and the next day, I'm popping tops off of markers. That is a yes. Yes to graphic recording. Yes to learning about facilitation. Yes to being on the board of the International Forum of Visual Practitioners. Yes to being the chair of the conference. Yes to teaching graphic recording at my graduate school. Yes! 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 Yes. Yeah. Break? Okay, yeah, great. Sure, yeah, go ahead, take a picture of it, tweet it, hashtag it, whatever. Me? Yeah. I'm an artist. So here's what I don't get, right? So let's just do a quick review, right? This is my timeline here. I'm born, and then at 6, I have that great clarity. Writer, yes! And at 7, it's still clear. Writer, yes! And then at 8, gas station attendant. And then for the next 30 years, it's this kind of opaque, ambiguous search. Archaeologist. All of these different things. Until finally at 40, graphic recording. And I have a path. And I'm running down the path. Yes, 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 yes. And then we get here. What's happening right here? It's gotten ambiguous again. Like, what I don't understand is, did all of that searching and inquiry and curiosity and trying on of things lead to the discovery of it? Or was it merely 30 years away? I mean, I don't know if I found it or it found me, but frankly, that's what it feels like. It felt like it found me. And that isn't really what I want to hear right now. I want to think that all of that yearning for it to be so, was big enough to lift me out of that deep rut. But maybe I was just supposed to find the path at 40. Maybe I could have just laid around on the couch and watch TV, drink beer. I mean, honestly, I tried that strategy right around in here for a good period of time. But I mean, I'd really like to know now, because I have questions that I don't have the answers to. I don't even know if I'm asking the right questions. Like, should I hire a coach? Or should I get my energy realigned? Or should I have somebody read my palm print, which will tell me my true purpose in life? Or am I just supposed to embrace the Buddhist approach that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be? Maybe I won't figure it out until I'm 53, or 57, or 62. Fuck! 62? That is just as unlikely to me as 30 was to that 6-year-old. Did anything she did matter? Or was it just entertainment along the way to the inevitable outcome? Which one is it? I can't tell. All I know from here is it looks like a lot of waiting. Waiting curiously, waiting inquisitively, waiting anxiously, waiting impatiently, waiting hopelessly, waiting angrily. It's just a lot of waiting. I mean, maybe I wasn't wrong. Maybe I wasn't wrong. I'm not one letter off. Maybe I'm a waiter. And in the interim, everything on the menu is just a possibility.